Welcome to the Great African Leadership Series, where we feature great inspirational speeches and quotes from African leaders.
Thank you for very kind, welcoming remarks. I can't blame other people for our own problems. I think the biggest chunk, the part of the problem is ourselves. Because we ask ourselves, the Africans on the African side, I said, you know, for somebody to come and do something wrong with you, it's because there is something wrong with you. Yes. Otherwise, you should be able to either refuse something or accept something. So what do you refuse, and on what basis? And what do you accept, and on what basis? We should be able to retain that kind of position and act on our behalf. So for me, when I'm talking about modern Africa, I'm talking about the Africa that stands up for itself and insists, like we are sitting at the table here. We are sitting as partners, as equals, as colleagues, as, you know, there is an exchange of views. So we must put ourselves, even by force, around the table. Yes, and be part on that table. You can't have people here deciding for Africa when Africa is absent. Why? Why should the people sit around the table like this and decide what happens in Africa or what doesn't happen when actually Africa is not around the table? We must come and demand and say, no, I must be at this table. I must hear and contribute and say something. That's the new Africa that we try to ask ourselves. What's the problem with Africa? If you look back, you find 30 years ago, some economies in our country, in our continent, 30, 40, some economies were at the same level with, say, Korea, right? South Korea. Other countries you can talk about, Malaysia, so on and so forth. I'm not talking about the most advanced economies. Then, over 30 years, over 40 years, the economies of Africa are still where they were, or they got worse. So what is the problem? And that's the problem I have with some of the development partners. Now we can talk about Europe and others. Partly they have kept us there because they are okay with giving us a few things, and it's like, because I have been asking them directly in the discussions around a table like this. I said, if you give me money for development, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and can't you see that I'm not making any improvement or progress? If you see that I'm not making progress, why do you keep giving me the same thing all the time? There must be, you have to change something else. Otherwise, it's absolutely nuts. You can't keep saying, no, keep quiet, development money. So that's why we decided at some point, and we have been mobilizing even other Africans. It's like, what? Official development assistance isn't working properly. Let's concentrate on private sector development. That we have a chance with that. It's like traditionally, all of us around the table know it. In Africa, there might be, say, mining companies around here. But in Africa, mining is such that it benefits more those who invest in the mining more than the countries where the minerals are found. So this is, you are rich with the minerals, but exploiting it tends to make you poorer than, so I think we need to change that kind of narrative. Well, there are countries that got it right. One of them that I know basically is a country like Botswana, and there are not many. The rest, mining just creates them. But for us, for example, what I wanted to come to, I meant was, we should work with those who are interested or like minds, therefore, to make sure we add value in our countries. You can see how far we are coming from, like in Africa. Let's say we produce coffee in Rwanda, right? The best coffee you can have anywhere in the world. But we pick the beans, we dry them, we send them somewhere, thousands of miles away. They prepare the beans and turn them into your coffee packet and then bring it back to us, and we pay 10 times what. I mean, this goes against, again, where we started the story when you asked me the most complicated question. Why should I be the one who will grow coffee, send it 10,000 kilometers away, then be served coffee when it comes back all that distance? It just doesn't make sense. So why don't I prepare coffee? And if I were to export it, I export it with value added. So that's what we are trying to do even to our minerals. We have partners from Europe who would work with us, and we add value, and then the rest is history.
And share this video with friends and family to support the channel.